Hi everybody. This is the next installment of our Armory demonstration for the characters that you can play in Oathsworn, and this is the Adendri Ranger. She was actually the very first miniature that I sculpted when we first started designing Oathsworn, and I had a lot of fun with her. And she, I'm a big World of Warcraft player, and I very much love the Night Elf race, and her pose was kind of inspired by the way I played a Night Elf hunter for years, and so her pose was very much inspired by kind of that idea of being a very agile and very lithe race, and expert huntresses. So this is one of my favorite sculpts, honestly, because it was the first one. But her armory, now in the game, she only wields bows, so we had to come up with a bunch of different bow designs. So before I go through the different bows that come with her, I just want to kind of quickly touch on handling the Hips miniatures, because some people may not be used to handling Hips minis. They're used to most board games being made with a softer plastic, and you don't obviously have to take them apart and put them back together. But Hips plastic is not as ductile as PVC, but it's also not as brittle as some of the other ones like the resin miniatures. So there is a kind of a way of handling these so that you don't break them, because these are very thin, and thankfully Hips plastic is ductile enough that it'll bend, but there is a point at which it'll snap. So for this particular miniature, the best way to hold her is to kind of get your thumb on her back and your forefinger kind of on her stomach like this, and kind of hold her in this sort of fashion, because it's her arm that comes off. So we'll pop off this arm, and you kind of just need to rock it a little bit to get that to pop off. You can see how that is. Now the reason why you want to be careful is because if you start grabbing like up here around the face, you could snap fingers off, or if you back over here, you might snap off hair, and even the bow, the arrows and stuff like that. You have to be really, really careful. So that's why it's best to grab around the back and the stomach area. So this was her first bow, and it's 2 pegs that plug into the back. So this was the starting bow that she comes with, and let's go to another bow. Just rock it off. Okay, here is the next bow. And most of them, when I sculpted them, I tried to make sure that they stayed with the theme of being based in the forest. So even this one has a branch-like feel to it, but just kind of a different design. How they can bend branches and trees and stuff like that to bend to their will, so they can craft them in any way they want. So that's another one. Here is a more elegant, simple design, if you prefer it. Snap that in there. Of another bow. Now I'll kind of give her a little bit of a different feel, each one. Now this one is a little bit more ornate, but one that I did like. It just has a really cool feel to it. Now this one, when I sculpted it, this isn't really branch like the rest of her bows. This one I had an idea of, it was a gift from one of the other races. I'll let you decide which of the races it was that gave it to her, but just to give it, for people that want to kind of role play a bit more and have a story behind their characters, they can come up with an idea of where that bow came from. And this is the last bow design for her. A bit more bulky and whatnot, but so yeah, I'll go back to the original one. Now, of all of these, there is one of those bows that actually does have a connection to one of the other things that happens in the game, so you'll be able to figure that out for yourself. But so like I've said in kind of other videos, I did try to sculpt some of the weapons that characters can equip with people that you'll encounter in the games or bosses you might fight, so that there's a little bit of excitement when if you wanted to kind of follow along with the story and change out your weapons based on what's happening in the story. There's some of the characters can do that. So I know this was more of a more simple character, and there's only bows that she could equip, but that's all she can equip. So I mean, we just had to come up with a bunch of different bow designs and allow those to kind of take shape. So hope you enjoyed the video, and see you soon.